Okay, next up we have Save Point Reload, book number 2, Sci-Fi litRPG series written by Matthew Sieg. This is 509 pages. It is $3.99. It is available on Kindle Unlimited. And here's the author's description. Now that the litRPG world in the Citadel has chewed Adam up and spat him out, he's right back at his original save point. Are things better? Maybe, maybe not. For one thing, he's still got brain cancer. For another, he's in trouble for breaking the rules last time. As punishment, he'll have to mentor the colony, an outnumbered race of misfit mushrooms, on the losing side of a battle for their home planet. Adam's new allies only stand a chance if he can unite the two sides of his broken faction. But first, they'll have to show him that some things are worth not resetting. So there we go. Actually, this is actually a really interesting series. This is, first of all, it's a good entry to the series. I like book 2 actually a little bit more than book 1. It is still light on RPG mechanics, but the mechanics that are there, they're woven in the storyline, they're consistent, they're an important part of this game world, or of this RPG universe game situation. And for me, though, however, the big draw is always going to be the sci-fi aspect. So I think there's some very interesting things done with this, kind of transferred to a game world thing. It's almost like in my mind, I always think of it as like, oh, it's the Running Man combined with like the Hunger Games or something. And I'm like, oh, with like RPG mechanics. And I'm like, oh, okay, okay, that works. That's a very interesting way of thinking of it. But I love the aspect that the aliens bring to the storyline. I'm a fan of stories that make you like pause in the middle, like you think, oh, that's an interesting way to think about that, or I hadn't thought about this. Or anytime that happens to me in a story, or I find myself pausing to think about something that's said or described, or like some speculative comment or story thread, to me that's always a plus. And this story does it a couple of different times, especially in the way that the author describes cultural relativity, using the alien plant things to show just how much of our human lives are really contextually based upon our unique physiology and our cultural evolution, and how it would or wouldn't translate to an alien civilization, or especially ones that are entirely different from us, because they grew up in different environments, had different evolutionary behaviors that adapted because of their conflicts or lacks of it, or their environments. It's just really fun, speculative stuff that I really enjoyed. One of the things I enjoyed the most about it. There's still good action. There's still good adventure here. There's still good RPG leveling and conflicts and stories and all that here. But for me, like the one big gem is always like that. Oh, this is the sci-fi aspect is really kind of fun and enjoyable. And I was really happy to see how well the author handled time travel, because that's always a tricky thing in a story. I'm happy that he avoided what I call the groundhog day effect, where it's just like the main character repeating again and again and again the exact same events. And that was avoided. I was like, oh, that's good. The author had a neat way of like sidestepping that issue entirely. Overall, good story, a little dark sometimes. I think that was noted by some other reviewers. I didn't think it was like too dark for me personally. But there are definitely, I guess, some dark moments. Still well written, still interesting. I'd agree with it. Gets a score of 7.5 out of 10 for me. That's Save Point Reloaded, book number 2, a sci-fi literature series with a score of 7.5 out of 10.